Hi everyone, it is the 1st of January 2014 and this is my 9 months on testosterone video. Um, Seeing as it's the new year, I want to start by saying that I wouldn't, at this point last year, I wouldn't have thought at all in my wildest dreams that I would be 9 months on testosterone and 6 months post-top surgery. I've been so incredibly lucky this year. I had a plan that I would try and start testosterone in the summer of 2013 and have top surgery in the summer of 2014. Just because of saving up money wise, that's all I could handle. But I got to a point where my referral for Charing Cross hadn't been sent off. I'd contacted them, contacted my local mental health team a few times, and they'd sort of just said, well, the person's on holiday, ring back in the new year, and then all this, and then just all this crap happened, and they fucked up my referral, and it wasn't until I'd actually started testosterone that I went to my doctor's, and he had received the report from my local mental health team that basically had female pronouned me the whole time, used my birth name, even though my name had been legally changed and was changed on my medical records. And basically said that they had no idea what to do, even though I had told them explicitly what they had to do. So they just fucked up so bad. And it got to, I think, February, and nothing had happened, and they had sort of just, nothing was going on. And so that was when I decided to go with gender care and go private, and I started testosterone on the 2nd of April, which was great. And before I'd started T, I'd been looking up surgeons, as you do, and I was going to go abroad because it was cheaper to have it done. It was like half the price. And I'd had consultations, and it basically worked out that I wanted to have peri technique, and they said that my chest was too big for that. So that was that. I couldn't find a cheap surgeon abroad that did double incision. They were all about the same price. And at this point, I was on testosterone. And my parents luckily said that they would help me out with the cost of surgery, and I was able to get it in June. I think it was June 26th. Basically because I had been living as Mal for so long before I started T, where I'd been fucked about so much with the NHS. I think it had been well over a year. I think about a year and a half, that Dr. Lorimer said that it was fine for me to have top surgery without being on testosterone for a certain amount of time. So yeah, that was that. I had top surgery, and I am so grateful for it. My life has literally improved so much since being on T and having top surgery even. So yeah, it's actually been a pretty great year, transition wise, and hopefully this point next year I'll have a beard. Fingers crossed, because I have nothing at the moment. So yeah, that's that bit out of the way. And I'll just talk about sort of changes and stuff this month. Not a lot, as usual. I started Nebido 6 weeks ago. I had my second injection yesterday. And after I had my first injection of Nebido, it almost seemed to have a third puberty effect. So starting T was my second puberty, and then starting Nebido, it all kind of started again. Like I had the same changes that I'd had before, but I had them again and more intense. So it felt like after I had my first shot of libido, my voice started to drop more. Um, Not that you can really tell at the moment because I'm ill and hungover, but it had felt like it had dropped again. Hair started coming in a bit more, not so much, but more than it was. And yeah, just like all the general changes that you have seem to start coming in a bit more. I'm sorry, I have my brain's like mush. I'm so hungover, but yeah. So yeah, like my thigh hair is continuing to come in and creep around, but it's still really like light and fluffy. I doubt you'll be able to see it. No. And same with my arm hair. I need to take my socks off. My feet are really hot. Soz. My facial hair, I keep shaving it because it just grows. Like it's blonde and it's not thick. It's like baby hair sprouting out my face. But it's like you can probably just pull it out then, but it is there. It's just blonde and you can't see it. I don't really have any here. Like you can, if you go like that, you can feel that it's like fuzzy, but you can't see it. It's so blonde, and the same on my chin. But these ones will grow, and they will get really long, and it will just be like head hair on my chin, but like blonde head hair. So I have to keep like shaving them because they're like not bristly enough to pass as a beard. It just looks weird. It's like fluff coming off my chin. So I shaved them, and now I've just got like blonde bristles here and here. I've noticed that my eyebrows are starting to grow more, like down here. Not even like across there. Like literally, like they're just starting to grow down. I'm just gonna end up with like a Count Olaf monobrow, like disgusting. I think my hairline is starting to recede more, like it's going further back, whereas before it was kind of like, yeah, well, no, it was like, yeah, so it is definitely receding here. It was anyway, but I was losing my hair pretty, but yeah, it's definitely starting to recede, but I don't really mind because it's like forming a more male pattern, so whatever. Last night, oh god, this is like all about passing. Last night I was in the club and I lost my mates for so long. They were on the toilet, like the girls' toilet, like having deep chats as you do. So I went in there, like I went to this club pretty, like I used to use those toilets, and I was just drunk, and I was just like, oh, don't give a fuck, like I don't know where my mates are, so I went into the toilet, and the toilet lady was like, you can't be in here, get out. And I was just like, hun, like, do you not remember me? And then she, like, got really pissed off and kicked me out. So I was like, yeah, fair enough, okay. You don't want a man in the girls' toilets, like, so, whatever. So I just waited outside for my mate. And then a bit later, I went to the bar, and this guy that was my ex's for so long ago, was my ex's best mate, who knew me like when we were going out, came up to me and was like, "Are you a girl?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Are you a lesbian?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Dylan." And he was like, "Oh, I'm." He said his name, and I was like, "I know who you are. Like, you're my ex's best mate." And obviously I didn't say that to him because he was just pissing me off at this point. And then he was like, "Oh, we both thought you was a girl." And I was like, "Right, do you want to fuck off? What's your point?" And he kept trying to chat to me, and I was like, "Can you just fuck off? Like, you don't go up to someone saying, 'Are you a girl? You look like a girl. I thought you was a girl.' Regardless if I'm trans or not, you don't go up to a person and say that. Like, it's just rude." And then he was trying to be all friendly with me. He was like, "Oh, mate, like, I didn't mean it." Like, shaking my hand, and I was just like, "Fuck off, mate." So that really pissed me off. So it's weird how, in some circumstances, I will pass completely, and people will even kick me out of the girls' toilet now, as opposed to the men's. going to having a person that I knew pre-T who obviously didn't recognise me, so I've obviously changed, asking if I was female. So it's really weird. Yeah, I don't really know what his damage was. Like, basically needs a slap, but I wasn't going to give it to him because, yeah, probably would have got annihilated. So yeah, that's basically it for testosterone. I think that during the last month, I managed to shed 3 tears in total, so that was nice. That's good for me. Squeezed them out. I was literally sitting there like I was really upset, and I was like, "Come on, just cry," and then it'll be over with. And I was just like sitting there trying to squeeze them out, and it just wouldn't happen. So yeah, I'm still emotionally crippled, but you know, everything comes at a price. I think I don't know whether I prefer it or not because I used to cry so much pre-T, and it's nice not just being triggered by anything, like anything and everything, and just crying. So on the plus side, it's alright, but on the minus side, I just really would like to. You know, when you just need to let it all out, but whatever. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I don't know if my Adam's apple was coming in because I've got like a lump here, which I assume is my vocal box voice thing, and then my Adam's apple is here. So I've got like two, and I don't know what's what. Maybe that's my voice box. I don't know. Whatever. I've got two lumps, but you can't really see either of them. They're like there and there. Whatever. Give a shit. Yeah. So this is probably really boring. Bless you if you stuck to the end of this, but yeah. Here is to another great year transition wise for me and everyone that is pre-T, pre-surgery, whatever. It gets so much better and it will happen. You just have to really stick with it and be patient. I know it sucks, but if you look at my thing from like last year to this year, like so much has changed and it will be soon. So just hang in there and have a good month/year.